Today, my job was a screener dispensing assistant.
And what does that mean?
That means that I helped the person who was screening the folks that came in through the clinic. I was filling out forms and making sure that they got the right medications to the people that needed them. I thought the experience was amazing. I've worked in emergency preparedness with public health for almost 10 years, and this is the first time that we focused on including the intellectual and developmentally disabled community. So I thought it was great to build relationships together. It was a good mutual learning experience. We as public health professionals learned a lot, and hopefully some of the folks that came through the clinic site saw what might actually happen during a disaster, so they could see what that might be like too. Yes, after today I definitely feel more prepared in terms of working with people with the IDD community. It really is just about talking to people like people, you know, forming those relationships, communicating clearly, and making sure that we're all on the same page.
Training today has been a very good experience. Definitely coming in contact with a nice variety of clients to allow me to test my skills and hone some of the resources that I might have used in the past.
They smile how I'm doing, and if I take those type of meetings, I say no. Yeah.
If they have something really happen, and I can tell them that you can't go out and let you have something to cover up. If there is poison in the air, just cover your face or do something.
Today, I mean, some of the clients, they were all saying thank you, so I think it's been really helpful. And I think, like I said, just actually meeting them and was really useful. I think some of the more closed questions was really useful. I'm used to using open questions to elicit more information, but I think using closed questions to really get to the fine point of the information.
I think part of it is about making sure that you're giving people the appropriate amount of time to respond, because it may take them a few minutes to gather their thoughts and also to come up with the right answer. Knowing that we can't rush through this process, it's more important that we get it right than to rush. And if there were a motto, that would be the motto to follow.
I thought it was a really fantastic day, and I particularly wanted to call out a few special people here who deserve, who really made this happen, and without them it wouldn't have happened. So Josh Sullivan, the man, the legend, the myth. Heather Hackett, Carol, our consumer advocates, Nicole, Kim, Carl,
and where's Heidi?
Heidi's still cone. Okay, Heidi's still cone, so when she comes in, we can all clap for her as well. But I just, as well, I just also want to acknowledge all the video people, all the fabulous people. Bill Sorrell, our fearless leader. Kim Cox. And really just all of you. I can't tell you how pleased I am and how I think everyone learned something. I tried to go around and talk to a lot of different people here, and I think everyone learned something. From the consumers, to people who work here, to people at the health department, to people across the Bay Area. So I just really wanted to thank you. And then now I'm going to turn it over to Kim and Josh to talk about what went well and what we can improve.
So I echo all the thanks. Thank you to everybody for making this day happen. So we'd like to hear from you about what things you thought were successful, worked well, and also what things you think could be changed or improved upon in the future. So Josh is going to be scribing on that one, and I'm going to be scribing on this, and I believe Erica is going to be roaming. So we'll take your comments as they come. We will put them in whatever category you deem to be appropriate. So Anybody want to start with a comment? What went well, what worked, or
Don't be
what
shy.
yeah.
I'm testing the mic actually.
We're trying.
In the meantime.
I think the mic is.
Come on.
Okay.
Thank you.
Hi.
So wait 1 second because I think the camera needs to get on you. Okay.
Sorry, I'm shy. Doing line control, it would have been nice from the beginning to have partitions that showed exactly where the line should go, and some kind of protocol to like let us know how we should figure out when a station was open, and then how many people to bring throughout when those calls were made. I feel like we had to kind of do that on the fly, and we lost, I think, like 15 minutes trying to figure that out as we went, rather than having that in place from the beginning.
Who's next?
Hi. I think over at the check-in table, they could have spaced the tables out just a little bit more, just because it got a little crowded. But that was it. That was all. I don't think it was bad. I just, yeah,
More space.
a little bit more space.
Say something good. Oh, I'm sorry. Go. Going back here to Jamie.
Hi, I was expanding on this comment that the tables would have been better spaced out so that the groups could stay grouped together. So say the example I had was somebody from the Asian Family Resources definitely needed help interpreting. So if we had known that her group was all together, instead of taking up 6 spots all the way down and her having to go to each station, she could have gone to a specific station because they would have been spread out, and she could have helped them all individually, and I think that would have made the flow go quickly. Thank you.
Erica, City, you want to?
Hi, I just want to say that I thought having coaches at the table was excellent. And I think that this is something that we need to consider incorporating into our overall plans and how we need to fit them into our ICS structure. The other piece is that when we had somebody at our table who was sensory overloaded, it was a little rough on trying to get that person over to the sensory area. Just the directions for how that would happen, maybe better coordination would have been good. And it also wasn't clear immediately, like after we would finish with the client, how they were supposed to get from us as a screener over to pick up their swag. So just a few little missing pieces like that.
I could find nothing wrong with this. This was awesome. This was a lot of work that went into this. Incredibly well organized. Everything was great. The food, which is important. The only item I would have is better swag. Tell the people in charge of the general fund that they can spring for something useful, like a bottle opener or something.
Back there.
Thank you. I just wanted to comment a little bit on the wording of some of the questions. Some people, you may stand up. Okay. Some people found it to be a little bit confusing, the questions about being less than 9 or less than 18. So if it could say, are you older or younger than 9 or 18, that might be helpful. And also, our coach pointed out, we were in the sensory area and it was very, very hot. It was the hottest tent and there was no breeze. And I'm thinking that if somebody is already feeling overstimulated, it might be more peaceful if it was just in a cooler area. And I don't know where our coach was, but she had a lot of suggestions as well. I don't know if you want to share, but they were really good.
You're doing great.
I don't remember everything else you said, but those are the 2 that I wanted to share. So, yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, I can add on. So, even though we're in a hot location, just checking the environment, because if somebody's already agitated, then they're going to have to go to another tent for sensory to relax. You know, we want to make sure the environment is better. Thank you. And then also some of the terms that she was talking about would be like doxycycline. It might be better if we use terms that they're familiar with, like do you take medication or are you allergic to medication? something that they already know.
I wanted to say, in addition to everything going smoothly, and I was very impressed with the organization, is the scheduling of the clients was wonderful. A whole group would come in, then there was a pause, and another group would come in, and so whoever was that, Josh who scheduled, it was very wonderfully done, and it worked well at the table.
She will.
Hello. So I really appreciate being here at this event. I learned a lot. But if I could just add a suggestion piece. The survey, the questionnaire survey, it was like lettered. It might be easier if it was numbered to match the actual numbers in the tab, so that the person that's like the assistant can better follow along with the questions that are being asked as it's going along. But everything else is great.
The sections a little bit more evenly so that they kind of correspond like this, because some of them went kind of like that, and when you're trying to write quickly, it gets a little bit confusing, but that's it. This was a really fun event and I learned a lot. Thank you.
First of all, let me just give a round of applause for
I really had fun today. Thank you all for coming.
You're welcome. May I repeat what you said?
I said that.
I really had fun today. Thank you all for coming.
Languages, because there was one lady that was in our group and she spoke like Mandarin or whatever, and she couldn't figure out how to tell them from English to a different language, so having the instructions in different languages would help.
Can I just say that we do have all the materials? We do have all the materials and all the threshold languages in the Bay Area, including Chinese, I believe it's Mandarin, Cantonese, Mandarin, yes. But for today's training, we decided to just keep everything in English, not anticipating we would have, we didn't anticipate having people who didn't speak English today, so that was a learning for us as well. So thank you so much.
So my coach today was Robin, and she was awesome. She was really helpful. And one of the suggestions that you had, which I think is great, is that a lot of these participants that came through today have cards with them, emergency cards that have certain pieces of information. So when we had a little bit of difficulty getting to the right answer, then we thought, oh, well, let's look at the card. So we were thinking maybe from the very beginning, right at registration, if that card was available, it would facilitate getting the appropriate answers in a more timely manner.
And on that note, I just wanted to give a round of applause to the coaches, because I felt like they were really integral, and I just appreciated people's time and gentle coaching. I saw a lot of gentle coaching and a lot of just lovely interactions, so thank you.
And along those lines, I just want to say that I thought it was wonderful that we engaged the consumers to participate in the event, to actually work alongside the rest of us. It was a wonderful thing, and so I appreciate that, and I think we all learned from it. The other thing, what else was I going to say? There was one other thing. So we put you on a spot right now in terms of, you know, what worked, what didn't work. But again, when you're driving home, if you remember that thing that you wanted to say or that could be an improvement, please send Kim Cox an email with whatever that suggestion or recommendation is. Okay.
And if you think it would be useful for us to send everybody on the list today like a survey monkey, so that when you're back in your office in an air-conditioned room with your favorite shoes, and you want to take a moment to fill that out, we can go ahead and do that as well. I see heads nodding, we will do that.
Nobody else has anything to say? We are going to say the exercise is over. Oh, wait, one more?
Of course, it's Karen May. Hi, everybody. I'm Karen May from Napa County. I've worked in public health for over 10 years, and this is the first time that we have ever been had an inclusive exercise where we've included the intellectual and developmentally disabled community with us. So I think that's monumental. I think it's important that we continue to do that, to build relationships, and that we share the lessons learned here today and throughout California and even across the USA, because that's how cool we are. So thank you.
And I want to also just thank the unsung hero staff of my team, Gerald Tamayo, Jeremy Haran, and of course, Diana Cunnison, who is your registration rate supervisor, and Josh Sullivan, who's been working with me and has been my mentor, don't let me start crying, for the last 6 months. It's taught me so much. Thank you, Josh.
Don't forget to sign out.
Go Diana!
Yes.
Okay, so with that, the exercise is over. Enjoy the rest of your day, and thank you very much.